the importance of microminerals in sheep and goat nutrition. Most of the sheep and goat production system, based on the grazing, they do not provide the mineral supplements. The trace element inclusion is rarely taken into account in the feed formulation. Even if they take the mineral supplementation, the major minerals like calcium, phosphorus are taken into account. But the trace elements are usually neglected or they are ignored. Definition of the mineral is they are the solid crystalline chemical elements which cannot be decomposed or synthesized by ordinary chemical reactions. And the minerals are the inorganic substance. These inorganic elements, they constitute the ash. If you are analyzing the nutrient content in any feed, the ash represents the minerals. The ash estimation is done by ignition of the organic matter. There are a number of inorganic elements which are essential. The essential minerals are restricted to a mineral element which has a metabolic role. The minerals which has metabolic role are categorized as essential minerals. They include calcium, phosphorus, sodium, chlorine, potassium, magnesium, sulfur, iron, zinc, manganese, copper, iodine, and cobalt. There are other minerals which are having a metabolic role, but their requirements are not so clear. They are selenium, molybdenum, and chromium. And there are certain minerals which the metabolic functions are not known, but there are some evidences that they have beneficial role in the body. They include nickel, boron, lithium, fluorine, and vanadium. Plants and animal tissues contain 30 mineral elements for which no essential functions has been found. So the classification of the essential minerals into major elements and trace elements depends on concentration in the animal and also the quantity of these elements which are required in the diet. Normally, the trace elements are required less than 50 milligrams and up to 100 milligrams per kg of diet. The requirement is less. That is why they are categorized into trace elements. If the requirement is more than 100 milligrams, usually the major elements are expressed in terms of percentage of the diet. Those for which no requirement is known, but which are thought to be required in very small amount, they are called as ultra trace elements. We need the minerals in very small quantities. It is 1 or 2% of the diet usually, but they are required for overall health and productivity and profitability of the herd. They are required for the growth. They are required for the wool production. They are very much required for the reproduction. Some of the minerals are required for the overall health, immunity, health of the sheep or goat. And of course, if the productivity is increased, wool or growth, meat production, if it is improved, or lambing rate, if it is increased, then obviously it will lead to profitability. If the adequate minerals are there in the body, the immunity, enzyme functions, or growth or fertility, and there will not be any symptoms. But in subclinical level, the immunity, enzyme function, growth, and fertility decreases. When the mineral level is reduced to show the clinical symptoms, then can go for the many methods like using the blood or using the tissues if on postmortem diagnosis. So we can categorize these minerals into two groups: major minerals and micro minerals. Micro minerals are also called as trace minerals. These are the synonyms. Major minerals are calcium, phosphorus, potassium, sodium, chlorine, sulfur, or magnesium. There are 11 trace minerals. Out of them, very important are iron, zinc, copper, molybdenum, selenium, iodine, manganese, and cobalt. The macro minerals are required and they are expressed as percentage of the diet, while the micro minerals are usually quoted as parts per million. If you see the example, as per the National Academy of Science or nutrient requirement of goats, the calcium, it is required in 0.2%, phosphorus 0.2 to 0.4, potassium 0.5 to 0.5, like that. It is in the percentage of the diet. And if you see the mineral distribution in the body, about 96% of the body consists of 4 organically bound elements: carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. The principal cations and anions, that is elements, these minerals, they account for 3.5 to 4% of the body weight. In that 3.5 to 4%, 46% is calcium, which are there in skeletal system. 29% is phosphorus, which is also there in skeletal system. 25% is potassium, sodium, chlorine, sulfur, and magnesium. And remaining only 0.3% is micro minerals. Although only 0.3% is there, they play very, very vital role in the health and productivity of the animals. Coming to the factors which are affecting the trace element requirement, age is a one factor, or otherwise physiological stage of the animal is a factor which affects the requirement of trace elements. The requirement for young, pregnant, and lactating animals which are in challenging situations, they have more requirement. They have greater demands for these trace elements. And the second factor is level of production. And the third factor is soil fertility. The fertilizers that we use. Fertilizers also affects the requirement. If we are regularly giving the soil fertilizers, applying the soil fertilizers like potassium, nitrogen, phosphorus, then it also affects the trace element content of the plants indirectly. Next factor is soil pH. The soil pH will directly affects the content of the micro minerals in the soil. As the pH increases, there are some minerals which decreases, there are some minerals which increases. So pH will affect the trace element requirement. The soil type affects the trace element requirement. I am telling all these factors which are related to soil because the same soil, the forages are grown. So indirectly, these factors are affecting the animals also. So because coming to the last point, the forages, the type of forages that we are growing, the species of forages that we are grown, that is another factor. So depending on all these factors, the requirement of the trace elements by the animal is affected. Requirement for the animals in some area differs from other area. In one, the animals, sheep and goat in one district, the mineral requirement differs from another district. The NINP has already studied the area-specific mineral mixture. They have already formulated, they have come up with the product. So coming to the diagnosis, the mineral systems are complex. By one test, we cannot confirm the diagnosis. We have to go for the soil test because it is useful to know the major deficiencies. Herbage analysis may be misleading in part due to interactions between. And you should go for the blood and tissue test, get an accurate diagnosis. Whenever we are going to test the mineral level in the blood, it is always recommended at least 6 sheep per group or sample due to. So as per the ICR recommendation, dietary allowance is in pre-ruminant lambs, it is the copper level should be 1, and the growing lambs it is 3, and in iron for all classes it is 30, and for iodine it is 0.5. Like this is available in the ICR book, you can refer. But the level of mineral requirement depends on the age, growth, and production. National Institute of Animal Nutrition and Physiology, Bangalore, NINP Bangalore, they have developed a mineral mixture for sheep and goat. The small ruminants like sheep and goat have specific mineral requirements, which is different from large ruminants. That is why they have formulated, NINP has formulated a mineral mixture exclusively for sheep and goat. And this technology is licensed for different private companies, namely Nandi. And the salient feature is the precise mineral supplementation as per the requirement, providing the balanced proportion of minerals to avoid antagonistic reactions. And the cost-benefit ratio is 1:1.9. And these are the pictures, goat mean and sheep mean, which are developed by this NINP. And they have also developed long back the area-specific mineral mixture for the ruminants. And it is wrongly practiced that the mineral mixture is added to the compound feed without considering the mineral status of the area or the soil, based on the soil, which leads to imbalances of minerals. If the level of, for example, I told you, the molybdenum is more, then copper is affected. So the level of minerals in the soil should be considered before going for addition of the mineral mixture, supplementation of mineral mixture. So supplementation of area-specific minerals for most deficient in that area avoids antagonistic effects. In market, the mineral licks or blocks are also available. These are some of the examples like Neutrolix. They have 3 varieties with mineral supplements as a buffer, as an anti-stone to avoid urolithosis, and to avoid acidosis. They have one product. They have minerals supplementation, just mineral supplementation, and licks and blocks. The animal, they instinctively or effectively take care of its own feeding. We should not be worried about if the toxicity. The animals, they instinctively lick the amount of they get the amount of minerals they require, and they stop when the requirement is met. So even if the salt licks are given, they lick up to they satisfy. More than that, when they don't go for the toxicity is not seen. More than that, they will not lick. It licks the salt and minerals until the demand is fulfilled, which means there is no overdosing or addictive behavior. So next, chelated minerals. The chelated minerals are also available for sheep and goat. It is a general product which is for buffaloes or even cattle, sheep, goat, poultry. The chelated minerals are available. The meaning chelation is combining the minerals with the amino acids or small peptides. It is a way of presenting the essential trace minerals, which is readily absorbable, and it can be utilizable and not subject to the interactions commonly experienced with inorganic element forms. The chelated goat premix are available in the market, wherein the vitamins, mineral premixes with salts are available in the market for lactating and dry dose. With the cereal grains and protein ingredients like soybean meal or groundnut cake, we can directly add the chelated goat mix, and we can feed to the animals. So objectives of this using chelated minerals is to protect the trace minerals during digestion. See, the availability is increased. Bioavailability of minerals is increased, and during the nutritional demands like pregnancy, reproductive stress, weaning stress, rapid growth, when the growth is rapid, the environmental stress, too much cold, too much heat or humidity is there. If there is a health stress, during such situations, we can go for chelated minerals. Research has shown that copper and zinc chelates are more readily absorbable and more easily deposited in key tissues such as hooves when it is compared to inorganic zinc sulfate. They have compared the zinc sulfate as such inorganically, feeding that zinc sulfate and feeding the copper and zinc chelates. But the copper and zinc chelates have shown good results. Utilization of copper lysine. So this is one of the chelation with amino acid. Copper lysine has shown the utilization was more compared to inorganic copper. So even in the presence of iron and zinc, the copper is absorbed very easily if it is in the chelated form. Trace minerals, they play a vital role in health, production, and profitability in sheep and goat farming. So we must focus on inclusion of these trace minerals. Usually we ignore the trace minerals. We only concentrate on the major minerals like calcium, phosphorus. So considering above all facts, research findings that we have discussed now, we must focus on the trace minerals which we have discussed.